Hello guys, so this will be my first ever, not really a tutorial, but I kinda want to show you the process and how I created music using a free online digital audio workstation called BandLab. If you're just starting to create your own music and you don't have any idea where to start, you can play around with BandLab. You don't have to download anything, you just need an internet connection as it's online and also an email address to register it with so you can log in to use the DAW, and that's just basically it. They have a lot of free loops and samples and sound effects you can use in your music, and they're not copyrighted, so you are good to go if you want to publish your work anywhere. So as I've said, I'm going to show you the process on how I created a very simple, slow, epic, orchestral music using just BandLab. And as you can see, these are all my instrument tracks. I used violin, cello, double bass, the drums, and a little bit of some voice harmonization there. The first one I did was the violin one. I played around with different chords and this is what I came up with. Also, I put some effects there until I get the sound that I wanted, and here you can listen to the violin one with and without the sound effect. I just recently discovered BandLab as well, so I'm not a master of it yet, and the effects that I use most of the time are just the studio reverb and this amplifier called the Multi-Amp Pro. Now let's move on to the bass sample. Here is what I came up with almost just the same effects as the violin one. I think with just the violin one and the double bass, it already sounds good, but after a couple of times listening to it, I decided I wanted to do a voice harmonization to go along with that, and here's what they sound like together. I did the voice harmony myself in Audacity and just downloaded it as a WAV file sample. Note that you can also record vocals on BandLab, but the DAW can only accommodate 16 tracks, and I don't want to waste 3 or 4 of them on just vocals. Although I think it's possible to record over and over again on top of a sample, I haven't tried it yet myself, but I'm guessing I'll have a difficult time controlling their automation and volume and stuff because it will be just one sample compiled all together. This is where I decided to waste my tracks on the drums. These 5 are all my drum instruments. I separated the kick, the snare, and the hi-hats in all different patterns, and you'll kind of see why I did just like that. So here's the first kick I did on pattern A. I chose the hard rock drum kit provided by BandLab, and here is what it sounds like with and without the effect, which is the same as every instrument. And this is the kick that I did on pattern C. I just duplicated the pattern A track so that they'll just have the same effect. Now this is the reason why I had to put those kicks in different patterns. Since they're in different tracks, I can control each of their volume and automation to my liking. As you can hear, the pattern C is much softer than the pattern A. By doing this, now it sounds more human, right? This is what it will sound like if I put all kicks on the same pattern and the same track. They will have the same automation, which is a bit unpleasant to listen to. These are my snare and hi-hat instruments, again separated in different tracks. And this is what the drum sounds like if you put them all together. It doesn't sound much considering that I put everything in all different tracks, but that's just how I do things. Now we move on to the piano that I came up with. And the cello. And lastly, for the violin solo. For these 3 tracks that you're seeing, they're just another violin section I added for spice and to harmonize with that violin one there, and this is how they sound like together. And that's it. With just using BandLab, I was able to create my own music, although eventually as you improve with your craft, you will find it very limited and you'll have to move on to much better DAWs out there like FL Studio, Logic Pro, and Ableton, but right now I'm too broke for those, so I ran to LMMS instead, which is free and almost I think pretty good too, but I'm also too lazy to learn for now, but I'm getting there. Anyway, here is the full epic orchestral music. Enjoy!